Hello everyone, Thursday, March 8th, 2018. Of course, yesterday was New Comic Book Day, which means right now, today, is new comic book video time. So this week was a pretty good week. It's been a while since there's been multiple issues of good books that came out, and this week happened to be one of them. So that was very refreshing, and I was pretty happy about that. So I also picked up some older books I think you might like. So let's jump right into the videos, shall we? Issue number 1, I've talked about this before. This is just a fun book that I enjoy reading. Scotty Young, who did the baby variant covers, is real popular with people. And this is Fuck Fairyland. This is number 17. She's not looking too happy, but as always, she's always going to get over it. Book number 2, couple issues left of this one. I've really enjoyed this storyline. This is Batman White Knight number 6. There's only 2 issues of this left, and then we'll see what they're going to do with this. This was a really good storyline. I've enjoyed reading it. And of course, next issue, I believe, is going to be the Joker cover that everybody's going to be jumping on. So, White Knight number 6. One of the books I talked about, which is blowing off the shelves right now, and this is already selling for upwards of $10 to $15. This is Rick and Morty, number 1, The Vindicators. This was cover 1. And this is cover 2. And a couple of reasons this was hot. Of course, one, it's a Rick and Morty, and it's the first book of a new storyline. And Rick and Morty is very popular, as you know, on the Adult Swim channel. But this is also the first appearance of Pickle Rick. First time in a comic book. So considered a quote-unquote first issue. And obviously, it's doing very well because they blew off the shelves. And they're really selling well online right now. So, again, that was Rick and Morty, number 1, The Vindicators. First appearance of Pickle Rick. Walking Dead 177. Of course, the TV show started back up a couple of weeks ago. And so far, I'm not real impressed with the way the storyline is going for this second half. Of course, Carl dies. And then they have some other things. So I don't know how that's going to go. I'm kind of disappointed with this whole all-out war season. I was expecting a little bit more bang for the buck. And I'm not feeling it. So we'll see how it goes. I mean, I'm going to watch it every week because I'm addicted to it. But we'll just see how it goes. Batman 42, Hunted by the Justice League. Cover 1. And cover 2. Poison Ivy action. Really cool book. They came out with these a while back and they were very popular. Looks like they started them up again. This is True Believers number 1, Venom vs. Spider-Man. Of course, homage to the 300 cover. And you can't go wrong. Again, I can't go wrong with these for $1. These come out as $1. They also came out with, I think it was Web of Spider-Man number 1 came out. But for $1, why would you grab that? I didn't grab the Web of Spider-Man, but I did grab that. Book I'm very excited about from Image Comics, number 1, Gideon Falls. That is just a really cool cover right there, if you can see the red eyes. I'm definitely going to read this. This has a very dark undertone to it. So I'm very excited about reading this storyline because something like this, you can just see, you know, Netflix or AMC, not AMC, but I can't think of the channel right now, but you can kind of see them wanting to do something with that on television. That was the first cover, and then the second cover, which is right here. FX is the channel I was thinking of. FX loves doing things based off of books like that. And of course, speaking of new books that people were excited about, Robert Kirkman's brand new one, Oblivion Song. Everybody who's read it, and I've read it, really, really enjoyed the first issue. Tell me what you think about it if you've read it. But Oblivion Song, of course, with the Kirkman name on it, you never know what's going to happen. So this could be a television show as well. But again, that's speculation, and I'm not a real big speculator, but I think this is going to be a book. This, again, sold very, very well. But because it was Robert Kirkman's new book, most shops ordered it real heavy. As it relates to Gideon Falls, it wasn't ordered real heavily. So hopefully one of those are really going to jump out. This was the second print of Amazing Spider-Man 793. with the blue background. God, I can't even speak today. Sorry about that. Maybe because I'm doing the video so early, I'm not used to it. So this was second print, blue background, kind of nice. And I went to another shop, just kind of, walked around to see if I can find something. And lo and behold, sitting on the shelf at cover price, I found a first print. He had two of them actually, so I grabbed them both. This is the first print, $7.93. This book sells pretty well, upwards of $15. So to find one on the shelf still, on a shop that gets a lot of business. So I was really surprised to find that, and in really good condition. So I don't know if it was something where someone didn't pick up their box books and they threw them out on the shelves and I got lucky, but I picked up the first prints they had on that. And of course, one of the other hot books that came out was Amazing Spider-Man $7.97. My shop didn't order a ton of these, and they blew off the shelf really, really fast. So they're $7.97. And then they had a couple of really nice variant covers that I picked up on the $7.97 because they were fairly reasonably priced, so I thought I would jump on it. The first one was Female Thor, doing a little kicking action right there. And the Red Goblin cover right there. This is selling pretty good. It's kind of a cool looking book. Wasn't that expensive. I was pretty happy with that. So I got one of those. And the book that really, really sold very quickly was the second print of $7.95. I was lucky to get one because they sold them very quickly. This one right here. That is an extremely cool cover. Right there. And this also is selling very, very well secondhand market. Matter of fact, we'll take a look real quick and we'll see how that's going. For those of you who do that, I keep these. These are all going to be in my shop when I reopen. But let's take a look at $7.95 second print. Just to get an idea. Yeah, this one's already selling upwards of $10 to $15 with shipping. So very lucky to get one of those. Black background, black border, but this is super, super high-end and clean. You could grade that right now, and it would probably come back very high for those of you who enjoy the grading companies. They also threw in, it's an Infinity Countdown, and I like this because it talks about each of the Infinity Stones, and so I thought that was pretty cool. It just kind of has a breakdown of the different stones that you had, and I thought, he's like, you want one of these? Like, yeah, you know what, I'll take one of those. It's kind of cool. It's different. So that's what I picked up as far as new books. Again, wasn't a huge week, but it was a good week based off of the amount of hot books that came out this week for people to try to get. So I picked up some vintage books, some Neal Adams covers, which we've talked about several times on this channel. Anything 12-cent Neal Adams, 15-cent Neal Adams is getting harder and harder to find. So I found a couple that I picked up. This is Superboy number 146. I graded it a fine. Right there. Nice Neal Adams cover. Can never go wrong with Neal Adams. I like this cover because this is a cover that I've always enjoyed. I graded this a fine plus. Got this at a good price as well. Really nice book. Black background. Hard to find. This is a Detective Comics 436 20-cent cover. But I just always liked that cover of the way Batman was drawn. I think this is Nick Cady who did this cover right here. So again, he's another legend, but it's really, really nice looking. Final two books I picked up. This was Action Comics number 370. This is also a Neal Adams cover. I graded this a fine plus. And this book here is kind of an under-the-radar book. This has new origin facts about Superman on it, and a lot of people really don't grab this book. It doesn't get a lot of love, but I think this is a really good book and kind of a minor key because it's an origin story. So right here, Neal Adams. And last but not least, a 52-page Big Giant from 1972, also a Neal Adams cover. This is Justice League of America 97. Sorry about the glare. You get it right there. And this also is a JLA. This is another origin retold story, And again, not a very expensive book. It's a 52-pager, and it's Neal Adams. That's a triple play right there. So I love that right there. So that's what I picked up as far as the books this week. It's not a real long video. I do have some topics I'm working on that I want to discuss. We'll go further into that in the next couple of weeks. And again, just keep looking for my eBay store, because I have a couple of days off and I'm going to try to get a couple of things up and running on that. Nothing vintage, nothing like this, but I'll put up some really nice high-grade books if you're interested in that. So pretty much that's the video this week. I hope you enjoyed the new books. I hope you enjoyed the vintage books, because I get a lot of compliments and I get a lot of comments about wanting to see vintage books. So I hope you enjoyed that. Again, if you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. If you know somebody who might enjoy the channel, have them subscribe. So I hope you liked the video, but as always, if you didn't, nothing I can do for you. Have a great, great night, and I'll see you next week.